All right, so I know a lot of you guys have had questions about starting up your own trash hauling company. I mentioned before I wanted to do a segment, maybe like a few videos of telling you guys everything that I think you need to know to start your own company. And I actually tried to do it yesterday, and I thought I was recording, and then later on in the day I turn my camera on and I look at my battery and it's got like 87% battery, and I'm like, dude, there is no way I have this much battery left. So I went through the videos and found out. I started the video, it recorded for 30 seconds, and I don't know if I maybe adjusted my hat and bumped it or hit it on something or what, but it stopped recording. So let's get into it. The first thing we're gonna talk, Jesus Christ. First thing we're gonna talk about is do your research. And when I say do your research, I mean get a hold of your landfill, find out how much it's going to cost you to dump per ton, and then call around to other, trash hauling companies and find out what their prices are. When you first start out, you're going to need to make your prices, really competitive. So find out what other people are charging. Also, there's two different kind of ways you can go about determining your prices. The first way is going to be like a flat rate for an unlimited service. So you can charge someone a flat rate of like everyone pays $25, but they can put out as much stuff as they want. Honestly, if you don't have a garbage truck, I wouldn't recommend that, just because people can get a little crazy with it and put out just mountains of trash. And if you don't have something to really pack it in there, you might fill up pretty quick. The way we do it is we offer a couple of different options. We offer like 1 bag, 2 bag, 4 bag. We even offer 6 and 8, but that doesn't get used all that much. So real quick before we get into too much further on prices, going back to doing your research, also you got to look into maybe taxes, opening a business bank account, and there's also going to be permits. So the permits for us where we're at, it's like $25 for the whole year. It's probably more than that at other places, but for us it's pretty cheap. All right, so back to making your prices. Like I said, you could either do unlimited or you could charge by the bag. I think a lot of people honestly like the option of paying by the bag, because for example, we pick up a lot of people who might be older and living by themselves, and they only have 1 bag out a week, so they don't want to pay $25 to just put 1 bag out. So having the different pricing options for them, I think customers really like that. But you could do it whatever way you want. So all right, let's get into marketing now. So marketing, there's a bunch of different ways that you can market a trash hauling company. Social media is huge now. I would recommend the Nextdoor app. If you've never heard of the Nextdoor app, to be honest, it can be kind of like, God, it's bumpy. It can be an app for nosy neighbors, so you'll have that. But there's a ton of people on there that reach out looking for all different kinds of services, whether that's like plumbing, electrical, landscaping, remodeling. Trash hauling is a big one I see on there too. So make an account, it's free. It's my favorite word. Make an account, make a post in there, giving your contact information, list the prices or the services that you're going to provide, and I guarantee you'll get customers that way. I'm not going to talk about Facebook or Instagram too much. I don't have either one of those, but I do remember from when I did have Facebook, you know, there are local groups that you can join on there as well. So Facebook could be a great option. Another way to market, which is the way that we started, is passing out flyers. I know it's pretty old school, but passing out flyers was effective in getting a good group of initial customers. So we would just go neighborhood to neighborhood, go up and down every street, taping flyers to people's doors. That got us our first big group of customers. But there's a million different ways to market. My biggest advice is keep it as cheap as possible, or even better, use options that are free, because you're gonna have to, if you don't already have a truck and a trailer or something, you're gonna have to, well, you're gonna have to spend a decent amount of money on that. So let's go ahead and talk about getting a vehicle. Couple different ways you can do it. I wouldn't recommend getting a garbage truck right away. They can be really expensive. I'm sure the maintenance on them is pretty high. I guess there's another person who does these videos that went in depth on maintenance costs when it comes to trash trucks. Someone in the comments said Baker County trash or something. Anyway, check his videos out. If you have any questions on garbage trucks and the maintenance that's required on those, because honestly I don't know the numbers. But if you're just starting out and you just decide to use like a pickup truck and a trailer, don't go super expensive with it. Don't be spending like 45 grand, 50 grand on a truck. It's gonna get a lot of wear and tear, honestly, so you don't want to buy something that's like really nice and then it just gets trashed pretty quick, no pun intended. So keep it as kind of, I don't want to say as cheap as possible. You don't want to buy something that's going to break down every day. But for example, the truck we're driving now, we spent somewhere around 12 grand for it. We had to put like another 5 grand probably into it to make sure it was ready to go. I would try to stay under 20,000 for a truck. In a trailer, you don't have to start out with a big trailer. Our trailer is 16 feet. I think we started out maybe 12 feet. We've definitely had 14-foot trailers, but I want to say we started out with a 12-foot trailer. But you're not going to have a ton of customers right away, so don't go too overboard with it. Alright, so you've decided what equipment you're going to use. We've marketed the company, we've done our research, we got our prices. Now it's time to like pick up. Alright, so you marketed, you're getting some calls coming in. Now you got to figure out a route. How are you going to pick up these people? What we did is we printed out a map of our city, and we knew that we were going to be picking up Monday through Friday. So we basically broke the city down into 5 quadrants. And basically each section that we broke down is going to represent a day of the week. So like maybe on a Monday we get the south side of town, on a Tuesday we get the north side, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, east, Friday, dead center. just an example, because when you're making your routes, you don't want to make it at random where literally every day you're just driving all over town. You know, it adds up with the wear and tear on the trucks, and it uses a lot more gas. So keep all your customers each day is like compact as possible, or condensed. It'll save you time, gas, money, all that. And then anytime anybody calls and they, you know, ask like, what day do you pick up this area, you just reference your map and you'll be able to tell them what days or pickup day. So we've talked about making your prices, doing your research, marketing your company. You have a truck and a trailer. You've determined what areas of town you're going to pick up what day, so you have a route. After that, it basically just comes down to actually picking them up. And really, there's nothing hard about that. There's just a few key pieces of advice that I would recommend that might really help keep your customers. One is consistency. You know, if you're just starting out and you have another job and you're doing this maybe after your first job or something, just try to stay consistent. Even if you're sick and not feeling well, you got to get out there and pick them up. Because if you go a couple of weeks and you're not picking people up, they won't hesitate to get someone else. So you need to be consistent, you need to be reliable. Those are probably the two biggest things. So we kind of went start to finish for starting your own trash hauling company. I know we just kind of hit the main points and briefly kind of discussed each one of them. We definitely go a lot more in depth with it. If you guys have any questions about any of the topics we pretty much talked about today, hit me up, whether it's in the comments or whatever. Just let me know if you guys have any follow-on questions regarding anything. It's kind of one of the purposes of the channel as well, is, you know, try to help you guys out if it's something you want to do. And so I don't want to just tell you what you should do and just leave you in the dust. If there's anything that you needed more advice on, definitely let me know.